What's up, y'all? Welcome to Union Minded. I'm your host, Eric, and today we are going to talk about Striketober. I keep reminding you guys that the labor movement is exploding all over the country. It's all over the place. Industries everywhere. Tomorrow there's actions that are going to be taking place that we're going to talk about a little bit later. But I kind of wanted to start with an article that came out in The Guardian. Came out yesterday, Monday. It came out, and the headline reads: U.S. unions, new Striketober looms as U.S. walkouts increase amid surge in union activity. That's an eye-catching headline for a unionist like myself. But before we dive into the article, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, drop some comments, share these videos. It's very important. And also, before I dive too deep into this, I do want to say that my condolences go out, most heartfelt, sincerest condolences go out to the Buffalo Bills and their fan base. I know they had a rough time on Sunday because they got cooked in that South Florida heat. But fins up, go Dolphins. You already know what time it is. Now let's dive into this article. All right, here we go. Support for unions is on the rise as workers take action to raise pay and conditions amid booming company profits. Thousands of workers around the U.S. are going on strike or threatening to do so heading into October, amid a recent surge of labor activity in America in just 1 month before the crucial midterm elections. Support for labor unions in the U.S. has grown over the past year as a surge in organizing has resulted in workers winning union elections at major corporations including Starbucks, Amazon, Apple, Chipotle, Trader Joe's, Google, REI, and Verizon. Union election petitions increased 58% in the first 3 quarters of fiscal year 2022, compared with 2021. Public support for labor unions is at its highest point since 1965. I did a video on that a while back. According to the most recent Gallup poll, with a 71% approval rating for unions in the U.S. According to the Labor Action Tracker at Cornell University, strikes in 2022 so far have significantly outpaced strike activity in 2021, with 180 strikes involving 78,000 workers in the first 6 months of 2022, compared with 102 strikes involving 26,500 workers in the first 6 months of 2021. The tracker recorded 41 strikes that started between August 15th and September 15th, 2022, involving 32,250 workers. Strikes appear to be increasing as we head into the fall, said Johnny Callis, project director for the Cornell University ILR Labor Action Tracker. These strikes are being led by workers in the service sector. Starbucks workers have organized over 70 strikes so far this year in response to poor working conditions and employer retaliation. Over the past month, thousands of healthcare workers and educators have gone on strike to protest understaffing, low pay, and poor conditions for patients and students. This is happening all across the country and all across industry. This article is in depth. It goes very deep and gives a lot of examples. I'll leave the link in the description box so you guys can read the rest of this article on your own. But the gist of it is, strikes are on the rise from last year, and with October right around the corner, it's not showing any signs of slowing down. They even touch on the railroad workers. Here, let me get into it. It says, here we go. And 115,000 railroad workers could still strike if they decide to vote down the tentative contract agreements in the coming weeks, which I'm seeing evidence of a lot of railroad workers unhappy with that tentative agreement. The common theme is we should be making a living wage right now. They've made a ton of money for the higher ups. They've made a ton of money for their shareholders. But once again, they're saying they can't afford to pay us the wages that we just need to survive. They're talking about, and this is true, all of these quotes is so true, but they said in the article, they're saying that, you know, they were calling us essential workers during the pandemic, and we're not treated as essential workers. Here, I found a quote here. It says, "We've been called essential workers for the longest time, and now it's just empty words." You see what I'm saying? So the sentiment is going on around the country that a general strike may be needed to really force the issue, because the owner class is not trying to negotiate fairly. They would love nothing more than to have a starving class that is forced to work menial jobs, making no money, so that they're desperate to continue working, and an upper class that lords over them. That's the aim as far as I can see it, and workers ain't having it. So here you have a great article in The Guardian. Like I said, I'll put it in the description box so you guys can read it for yourself. But big time, it's huge. Then there was so tomorrow there's an action, and this came across my radar today. I thought you guys might find it interesting. The Southwest Airlines flight attendants are doing an informational picket tomorrow, September 27th. And I want to read to you a little bit from their plan here, because I came across my radar on Twitter. So they put out this call for volunteers and supporters. It says, "Make it right, informational picket on September 27th. Never before in the history of Southwest Airlines have flight attendants' working conditions deteriorated so rapidly, crippling our quality of life, devaluing our role, and creating a loss of spirit. On Tuesday, September 27th, in Southwest airline bases all across the country, Southwest flight attendants will take a stand by conducting an informational picket. RSVP now to help picket in person, and ask your friends and family to join you. Let's send a message to Southwest Airlines. It's time for Southwest Airlines to make it right." And they're doing it in Atlanta, Georgia, Baltimore, Maryland, Chicago, Illinois, Dallas, Texas, Denver, Colorado, Houston, Texas, Las Vegas, Nevada, Los Angeles, California, Oakland, California, and Phoenix, Arizona. There's other ways to support, and on this link that I'm going to share in the description box, it has some downloadable images that you can put on your Facebook if you want to support them that way. And it also has links for you to be able to retweet to show support that way. And I just want to show you what the TWU Local 556 expects Southwest Airlines to agree to a new CBA that pays flight attendants for time worked, allows flight attendants time to safely rest when not working. Seems so basic. Gives flight attendants control over their personal schedules when not at work, allowing them the liberty they deserve. Provides access to food and a safe place to sleep when traveling on the job. Fixes the technology failures that disproportionately impact frontline aviation workers and passengers. Creates a modern reserve system that meets the needs of personnel and the operation, and ends the unsafe practice of 24-hour on-call. That's rude. Provides benefits that actually help flight attendants, like health insurance, because they need it, including when we're injured on the job, battling cancer, or just had a baby. These are very, very fair things to request. And again, I'm gonna share this into the description box as well, in case any of you guys want to support. But that one also came across my radar. And then another one came across my radar that I thought was banging, because it also had to do with airports. And it was 1,000 fast food workers striking at SFO Airport. Okay, here we go. San Francisco, California. This is inflation, labor shortage push workers to strike. 1,000 workers at San Francisco International Airport's restaurants, bars, coffee shops, and lounges are on strike. They say their wages have not kept pace with rising inflation, forcing many to work 2 or even 3 jobs to make ends meet. Low wages have also exacerbated the labor shortage, increasing workloads at understaffed restaurants. Travelers should plan to bring their own food, as workers are on strike at virtually every food and beverage outlet within the airport. That's wild. But again, this is what the owner class is driving the workers to do, because they're not trying to negotiate fairly. They're just not trying to do it. Here, I got one more for you, and then I'm going to let y'all go. University of Minnesota, fall semester in jeopardy as 15,000 service workers launch unprecedented strike. UMN workers and members of Teamsters Local 320 are fighting to end poverty wages, chronic understaffing, discrimination, and abusive employment practices. This is out of Minneapolis. University of Minneapolis workers, represented by Teamsters Local 320, today announced the start of voting to authorize a strike. The workers' contract expired on June 30th, 2022. The strike authorization vote, which comes after UMN has repeatedly refused to address chronic understaffing, poverty wages, and abusive employment practices that are negatively impacting the quality of service on campus. The vote will run through Friday, October 7th. Votes will be counted on Monday, October 10th. Teamsters Local 320 represents 1,500 workers at UMN who clean buildings, service dormitories, maintain grounds, prepare food, maintain HVAC systems, care for research animals, drive trucks, and perform other activities across the university's 5 campuses. We don't want to go on strike. We want to continue to do our jobs to keep the university up and running for UMN students. But we can't do that when we're not making enough to pay our bills and put food on the table. We can't do that when we're barely making enough to survive, said Sarah Parcels, a University of Minnesota building and grounds worker. UMN brings in billions of dollars each year off the backs of workers like me. It's time UMN supports working people in Minnesota and pays its essential workers a living wage. According to a recent survey, more than 450 current and former UMN service workers, more than 62% report not being paid enough to be able to afford basic expenses every month. So the Teamsters here in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, are also going on strike. This is happening all across the country. So just a quick callback to one of my videos from last week when I said that we should reinstitute picket duty. There's so much labor action going on that it would behoove us as a labor organization to be a part of it. And being that it's happening all across the country, imagine all the different IBEW locals that may have picket duty in their language. And if we were out there on the front lines with them, the support that we can give them, the contracts that we can help them gain, and the goodwill that our organization would earn. I just think it's a win-win. Maybe that's me. I'm a little bit idealistic. And I just think that when workers join together, we're going to have a better future. And so that's what I'm pushing for. And yeah, so that's the news for today. Striketober, Looms, a lot of action going on all across the country. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. My name's Eric. You're watching Union Minded. Remember, the fight's not left and right. It's up and down. And it's going to take solidarity to win always. Remember, each one teach one. Get out there and reach one. Peace.